So today I'll be talking about why your shots shouldn't be perfect and why perfectionism is probably holding you back as a photographer. The first thing I mean about perfectionism in photography is chasing perfect conditions. Now, obviously, chasing perfect conditions is kind of how you get some of the greatest shots, but it's not always how you get good shots. Now, if you think about it, golden hour is like a couple hours per day in the morning and in the afternoon. You're leaving the rest of the day on the table if you only shoot at golden hour. Obviously, not everybody only shoots at golden hour. Most of us probably don't, but you do kind of get that itch to go out during golden hour more so than any other time of day, or at least I do. So sometimes you kind of want to broaden your horizons and shoot at other times of day. Shoot in conditions that you maybe don't think are going to be that good, or you might not expect to get good shots in, because it's the whole rest of the day that you're leaving on the table if you only shoot, in that little golden hour window in the morning and in the afternoon. There's a lot of time that you're just kind of leaving on the table, I guess. In my last video, I talked about adaptability. I talked about how sometimes you just need to work with the scene and get the shot anyway, despite whatever challenges you might be facing. If you only shoot at perfect times a day in perfect conditions, you're kind of robbing yourself of the ability to learn to adapt, because you don't have to adapt as much if you're only shooting at times when it's the peak, best time to get good shots. And obviously, there's a lot of shots that you could get that would be good, unique, whatever it may be, at every other time of day except golden hour. I mean, there's plenty of possibilities out there that you might just be completely passing up because you're only interested at shooting that time of day. So there are a couple of huge problems with trying to be a perfect photographer or aiming for perfectionism. And number one, obviously, takes more time. It slows you down a lot. If you're sitting in one spot and you're waiting for the perfect photo, you need to have at least a gauge of how long you're willing to wait. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you have the perfect framing and you're just waiting for a subject to move through it, there does come a time where the photo has taken more effort than it's worth, and you could just get a good subject. And like I said, while it might be ideal to get the absolute perfect shot, it's not always realistic, and sometimes the next best thing is plenty good. If you're only ever willing to take the shot if you feel like it's technically good or it's going to end up looking good, you're going to leave a lot of gems on the table because you don't shoot them because you just don't feel like they're going to be that good. And I've done this plenty of times where I've been looking at a scene and I think, nah, I'm not going to take the shot right now. It wouldn't be that good. And I had to kind of train myself out of that over time and just start taking the shot anyway. And if there's one thing I could tell you, it's just go take the shot anyway. Because a lot of the time it's going to turn out as good, if not better, than the shot that you thought you were going to get at imperfect conditions. Perfectionism also kind of stops you from being creative. And not all the time, but there are going to be times where you're trying to shoot a certain way that you think is the right way, and you might pass up some creative opportunities because you're so used to the sort of idea in your head, almost a cage, of this is what's technically correct, that you might avoid actually coming up with something that, while it might be right in front of you, a really creative shot, you might avoid taking it because it's not technically sound in your mind. So you kind of got to think outside the box, or just abandon the box altogether and just take some shots that might end up terrible, because what do you have to lose? I mean, a little bit of time, a couple seconds of time. Other than that, no one's gonna laugh at you. I mean, somebody might laugh at you. I don't know. I'm not gonna laugh at you if you take a really bad shot. And this goes into missing moments. Obviously, if you're trying to be perfect all the time, you're not gonna take certain shots, like I said, that would turn out great. You're gonna miss a lot of little moments that could end up being some of your favorite pictures that you've taken. And I mean, I have taken shots that plenty of shots actually, that I didn't think were going to turn out good, that I actually really liked. So I want to go over a couple pictures that I've taken that I think might not be technically perfect, but that I like for one reason or another, either just because they look cool to me, or I think other people would think they look cool, or some of them just have a memory behind them that I actually really like. And they're all from Japan, so obviously they're all memories that I really like. I just want to go over them with you real quick and explain a little bit of what I mean by you don't have to take perfect photos, just take pictures that, you like. First off, we have a koi fish. It's just a fish. It's just a fish that's edited to look kind of cool, but as far as what I really liked about the photo, I think there are some cool colors in it, and you've got a little bit of a slice down the center kind of effect where the upper left side of the frame is a little bit lighter and the bottom right side of the frame is a little bit more blackened and, you know, deep shadows. We also have the cat in the Japanese stall. Obviously, I explained that I have the memory of that partially because I remember the cat. Next up is a car. I don't know if the car was abandoned or if the car was just sitting for whatever reason it may be. I just saw this car through some greenery, through some foliage, and I thought, looks like a good picture. Let's take it. And obviously this picture, it's just a car, but I like the way it looks. You might like the way it looks. I don't know. Either way, I ended up putting it on my website as part of my portfolio from Japan because there was just something about it that I was like, it might not be technically perfect or like a really great picture, but it's kind of cool. We've also got a shot at one of the train stations in Japan. I actually don't remember where this was. I don't remember anything about this situation, but it is actually one of my favorite pictures that I took. And as far as like technical greatness, there's not much going on there. I mean, it's a little bit messy. You know, there's like a little bit of extra weight towards the bottom right side of the frame or like middle right side. But you do have the people lined up getting ready to get into the train that are kind of in like a good position. So, I mean, it's an okay picture. I really like it. I don't think it's technically perfect, but it conveys a sort of situation that I think is just interesting. And then we've got a cup of coffee. It's literally just a cup of coffee, edited to look kind of cool, I guess. It's nothing special. It's just, I like the way it looks, so I took the shot. And then we've got the Starbucks guy. Obviously, there's a Starbucks coffee with some cool contrast going on, but I got the guy like 5 feet before he was in the light. And that's devastating. I actually am really sad that I didn't get him in the light. And this next shot is actually, I didn't even edit it until today. I was looking through my old pictures and I was like, oh, that would be good for this video. The curvature of the design, I don't even know what that is. What is that? It's like hedges, hedges along like a fence down there. I think the curvature looks kind of cool because it leads you into the group of people that are sitting down at like a table, and I don't know if they're like studying or what they're doing, but there's curvature into that group of people, sort of like a leading line situation. The lighting is kind of cool because down the left side of the frame, I was shooting through a window. So I think that's a little bit of a reflection down the left side. That what I kind of actually like about the photo is that the upper right third is all sky. That's probably left for you. What is that? I don't know. I'm mirrored. Forget about me. Anyway, the upper right corner or upper right third of the frame is all sky. And I think that's kind of an interesting little, bit of that photo. And then next we've got just a Japanese salaryman, I believe, walking around, and he just happened to notice me taking a shot of him. And I thought, okay, yeah. I would have liked to have framed it down a little bit to get all of him in the frame. Obviously he is pretty much in the frame, but I don't like how it's just butted up to his foot there. I'm like, I wish I could go up just a little bit, just pull it up a little bit, but past me, screwed up, dude. Next is a couple bottles of whiskey on a shelf. I just liked the lighting at the time. It looked really soft and cool. But other than that, it's just whiskey on a shelf. It just looks pretty. And then next up, we've got a Japanese woman in a nice garb just down the street from me. And I was just passing by, I think with like a 50 mil or something like that. And this was actually kind of far from me. So I had to crop in a bit to get this composition. But she was actually in the light, unlike Starbucks guy, which was pretty nice. That actually made me feel like I got a good shot here. And then we've got Tokyo Tower. This is a picture of Tokyo Tower. It's like framed by some greenery, which is all right. I guess that's cool. But for the most part, it's just a picture of a tower and it's okay. I mean, it looks kind of cool. So that's nice. But other than that, technically not the best photo in the world, but it's on my website because I think it looks good. And that's it for pictures that I have that I wanted to show you today. And I wanted to do this because, obviously I'm kind of just roasting my own photography, and you might look at those pictures and think they're absolute trash, or you might look at them and think they're actually pretty good. Either way, honestly, technically they're just okay. A few of them are not good, a few of them are good. But for the most part, the point that I'm trying to get across is that you don't have to always go for a perfect picture to get a picture that either you or someone else finds appealing. And obviously they're in a cool place, so it's easy to make photos look good when you're somewhere that you're not used to. I'm from Illinois, so I'm used to cornfields. I'm not even from the city. So Tokyo to me is a whole new world. But, some people might be like, no, this is all really boring. None of these pictures are good. It just depends on your perspective. Anyway, that's all I had for pictures. You don't have to wait for ideal conditions all the time. And more often than not, I think you're actually going to be glad that you went out in times when the conditions weren't ideal. So, to summarize, don't try too hard to be perfect or get perfect shots. Most of the time, I think it just slows you down and it just kind of prevents us from taking shots that might end up actually being really good photos, and we just avoided them altogether because we didn't think they would be. And obviously, the more bad shots you take, the better you get, the more you grow. As you start to look at those shots and think about why you don't like them, you start to understand more about what is actually appealing to me and what might be appealing to others in photographs, or what makes a good photo. So if you liked the video and you want to like and subscribe, that would be so sweet of you, so kind. And if you want to, you can check out my website where I have a portfolio, blog, and some free presets if you're into that, but they're up to you whether they're good or not. Whether you want to click enough buttons to get them in your email, that is for you to decide. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you want to see more of me or get in touch with me, you could always go hit up my website.